भाई क्या कर रहे हैं?
Oh, I'll enjoy everything at 60.
You have to kiss many frogs before you find your prince.
We have lived in comment sections.
So I don't want my kid to be like, where did you meet? I'm like, hey.
Different people provide different kinds of intimacy.
Those were the best days of my life.
Guys, एक test shot ले लेते हैं. Saki, let's rehearse the intro.
Guys, they're going to kill me. We're running late. There's so much traffic. No time for test shot. Namaste, hello, adab, and a big hey. Today I'm anticipating some classic Delhi versus Bombay play. I think we should stop calling it dating and call it a professional game of chess. Boss, the levels of dopamine, serotonin, cortisol, it's all a mess. In a paid partnership with Indian parents, ये क्या है hustle का test? Procrastination, laziness, nahi baby. It's called the gift of well-deserved rest. Internet पर role model बनकर सबको करना है shine. यार कभी-कभी main character नहीं, even side character energy is also fine. Before I introduce you to my guests, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. With Rohan Joshi, Sahiba Bali, we're going to vibe and vibe.
Early in the morning, both
Yes,
of us, we
both of
have
us.
taken an early morning flight, both of
Yes.
us. We've landed in Delhi in different terminals, both of us.
Yes, correct.
Come
All
here.
correct.
My defense.
इसका भी shoot था कल,
I
मेरा भी shoot था कल.
In my
Ah.
defense, I was on back-to-back flights yesterday. I only landed and I was jet lagged and I could not sleep the night. And then I was like, okay, if I pass out at 8 in the morning, I'm never going to be able to make it. So for you both and to make it here.
The guilty feel क्यों आ रही you both?
मुझे I'm not feeling
You're not
guilty at
feeling
all.
it?
Yeah,
Not
I'm just
feeling
waiting for it to
guilty.
finish so I can just throw it back in her face
Yeah.
and be like, no.
No.
Fine
We were
now.
yours.
Refuse.
Refuse.
I was not 1 hour late.
Refuse.
Refuse.
I said I will be here at 1:30. You guys came in early. Not my problem. So how are you guys feeling today?
Outstanding.
Lovely.
How are you feeling today?
Fantastic.
I'm feeling just about okay. I'm a little jet lagged.
Oh,
as we
nice.
speak, yeah.
हमने तो बहुत positive बोला था.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like, yeah, I'm okay
Okay,
actually.
if you're really talking about how you're feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
been tough.
Anxious, depressed, but a
this-
tough couple of
Yes,
months,
it's
honestly.
really tough.
It's been
Really.
rough. Yeah.
Now you're being honest already. I thought the vulnerability will come at some point.
नहीं,
you
हमने
know.
खोल दिया अब सब
खोल
कुछ.
दिया,
पहले
हो
ही
गया.
खोल दिया.
मतलब पी रूम कॉन्वर्सेशंस नाम है. मतलब अब मतलब छिपाना ही क्या? मतलब यहाँ तक
I
आ ही
know.
गए तो छिपाना ही क्या?
I mean, pee is the most vulnerable thing.
Oh, of course.
Most
Hands down,
vulnerable.
far and away most vulnerable thing.
Is it the most vulnerable thing?
The-
What could be? Let's think about it. What could be more vulnerable than pee?
Like, I don't want the conversation to go there, but it's
Yeah.
obvious.
Peeing while being attacked by a bear.
Or a cockroach walking?
That. Sorry, I know you said you have to beep it, but sorry, that's my instinctive response to the word cockroach.
No, you know, I used to fear when I
Phobic
used
to cockroaches. Majorly phobic.
from the toilet an insect would come.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a deep
Yeah,
fear.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a
no.
deep fear.
It's only I'm having mini goosebumps right now.
In my engineering college, there was a rumor, one of those things where you don't know whether it's an urban legend or it happened, that basically somebody went to the toilet and a snake came out from the toilet.
It's not a legend. These things happen.
But anyway, you know, coming back to, I want to start with Sahiba. You know, Sahiba, I've recently started, I stalked you last night, okay? Full guilty. I spent 2 hours
It's a
stalking
sort of
you.
sentence, but also a sort of
Okay.
sentence that just sounds way more innocent coming
Last
from
night.
her than me. I stalked you last night.
Thanks for stalking me.
And I found out that, you know, you've done so many interviews, you've done so many podcasts, and there's this common introduction everybody gives. Oh, you know, she has this portfolio, career, cocktail of things. She's multi-dimensional, multi-talented, multitasker, multi-receiver of jawline compliments. I saw that video with your mom. That was really fun, by the way. You know,
thank
love that.
you.
So, is it intentional? You know, an actor, an influencer, the quote-unquote Zomato girl, the marketer, everything, like everything that you're doing, is this intentional or you're just practically trying to navigate and going with the flow? Like, I really wonder.
Okay, that's a good question because I don't know if it's intentional because I never planned my life saying I need to be these 5 things. It was just I had a lot of interests and passions, and I always felt that you don't need to drop one in order to pursue the other because the opportunity cost will be too high. Serious हो गया थोड़ा.
100%. No, but that's a very good point though.
No, it is a good point, but then you have to really prioritize and categorize. And we'll come back to
Oh, my life
work-life
is a
balance
nightmare.
later. We'll come back to the work-life balance later. We're specifically talking about work part of your life currently.
So I love it, but it drives me crazy. It's weird. It drives me crazy, and it's the only thing that keeps me sane.
So it's like you have a toxic relationship with work.
My
Yeah,
God.
it's the red flag.
God.
So is it somewhere like, you feel that pressure of, oh my God, we're in this hustle culture and, there is this certain level of pressure that we all feel to be productive constantly and, if you don't have a day
100%.
off. So have you succumbed to that fully and
I
you've
have.
completely indulged yourself into that life and you said, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you, like, I'm good at multiple things and I'm going to show you. Like, is that where it comes from?
So I always believe that you have to hustle because I always wanted to be very successful in whatever I did. It doesn't matter what I do, but I have to be very successful. And for that, you need to hustle because I've only heard you need to work and work your ass off to get somewhere. So that was kind of ingrained in me. But now that I've started hustling too much at the cost of my health,
Correct.
I was like, Sahiba, you need to sit down. My New Year resolution, my 2024 New Year resolution actually on my phone is sit your ass down.
And how's that going?
Well, I've just flown in from Bombay. I'm in
Where are you
Delhi
going this
now.
evening? Yeah,
I've
there
taken
you
3
go.
flights
There
in
you go. So
12
that's going
hours.
great. That's going great, clearly.
December 2023. And I'm somebody who's all about like data, numbers, lists, math. Like, it has to be like 1 + 1 equals to 2. And I'll make sure if I promise that to myself, I'll make it happen. Right. It did help me making that resolution. Of course, resolutions are meant to be broken, quote unquote, right? So, but there was this certain piece that that I could give to myself where I knew, okay, rest is productive as well, and I put that as in my to-do list, and when you start putting that as a task in your to-do list, then it sort of becomes second nature and then you stop feeling a little less guilty about it, when you're resting it out or when you're giving time to things beyond work, right? But Rohan, like I want you to also sort of like throw some light on what your point of view is on this.
I think I'm actually like sort of further down the road from you on the health thing. I had that also because I spent like a good decade just working myself to the exclusion of all else. Like I was just always on it, right? Like when you're building a company and building a career, I think much like you said, nothing I did was planned. I mean, when I was growing up, I didn't even know stand-up comedian was a thing you could be. Like, so forget planning or working towards it. I didn't even know that was a thing you could be. And then it sort of happened. And no complaints, knock on wood. I was very fortunate to have, I think the sort of success that a lot of people aspire to for a long time. Right place, right time. But I sort of had to work to capitalize on it. And all of us did at that point have to work to capitalize on it. And in that sort of early comedy online landscape, I think up until about like 2018, 2019, I burnt myself out. And then this thing that you're sort of talking about, one is realizing that your health matters. Because here's the thing with success, right? What is the point of being spoken about hyper successfully by other people in rooms when you're dead? When you're dead, right? And you're not around to enjoy it.
Correct.
Plus the other thing that you said, which is, and this is something that as I've gotten older, have realized, is that rest is its own reward. All right. Because one is, like you said, we've always been taught, I think it's an Indian thing, right? Because we live in an intensely competitive system and fairly so. We are told that you got to work, because it's a big crowd, it's a big race if you want to nudge ahead. But I think what happens in that is that we forget that there's a time where we have to remind ourselves that, like I said, rest is its own reward. Rest is a form of productivity. Rest is a gift you give yourself. Because I also don't understand this idea of, I'll enjoy everything at 60. Later. No, you know what? Like with a busted hip, you're not going to be able to climb the freaking Great Wall of China or go like to Machu Picchu or whatever.
Or if you don't have friends left or like
Nothing
family you
left,
spend
right?
time. It's also sad.
It's very sad.
I mean, it's like the diminishing productivity graph, you know, right? We constantly feel like the more productive we are, the more successful we are, or the more healthier we are, or quote unquote, the more happy we are, right? That's the notion that this whole digitalization and the, the pop culture toxic world that we are in currently, and there are obviously many benefits to it, so we cannot deny that, you know, there's a lot
No,
that
work
comes
is important. You
with
must
it,
work.
right?
Work is very
you know,
important.
and hustling and sort of relating hustling to the idea of exhaustion is somewhere that sweet spot, that intersection where we I think get it wrong, and that's where we need to probably course correct a little bit and say, okay, no, okay, I want to hustle, I want to do all of these things, you know, like you say, you have a portfolio career. I try to navigate a bunch of things myself. You were going to say something, I feel, when I said hustle.
No, it's just in general, like I feel like this is a word that we really need to unpack. Hustle. It's just taken on so many different meaning. It's become
so
like
subjective.
this. It's very subjective, but it's become like this Instagram, LinkedIn buzzword, right? Yeah. That everybody throws around.
People
where,
have it on their phones also.
yeah,
Hustle.
I'm a hustler, I hustle, I this thing, is it? But, and I think that there's a slightly sort of dangerous aspect of that young people can pick up on. Like on the one hand, yes, it should mean work hard, etc. All of those things, right? You have goals, work hard to achieve them. But I'm very wary of it sort of telling people that unless you're just constantly doing that, you're nothing.
Yeah.
That is something that I'm very wary of people. I constantly have to be hustling. I constantly have to be grinding. I constantly have to be like, no, you know what? 8 hours of sleep, really important. Like, you know, drinking
But are
like
you guys
stupid
sleeping
things.
8 hours of sleep? Are you guys, any of you
Hey,
getting
just because I said it's important, okay? I didn't
I
say
third cup of
I'm
coffee
doing
today.
it, all right? Like vegetable fiber is important.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay, so what's the average sleep time both of you all have?
I try my best to pack 7 hours.
I mean, try and like achieve.
But achieve, sometimes I have good days where I wake up at 11. Don't ask me when I sleep, but there are days that I wake up at 11.
Yeah, see, that's pretty much identical answer. Don't ask me when I sleep, but also I'm very fortunate in that sense to have the freelance life and get to choose my own structure. Been a blessing.
That's happened with me, and I think I really like it.
It's amazing because then things like time, health, all of that stuff sort of flow around it.
Correct. But then you also, with that, if you're enjoying and loving what you do, you start taking other things for granted. You know, that also sort of happens,
because
right? Like that's
you
how
choose your happiness, right? And this is what your happiness is coming from.
Correct.
You're like, okay, I want to spend most of my time
this, that, you know, I'm loving what I'm doing, so let me just like give my all to it, right?
And eventually your body will tell you. But what I've realized, at least that my body started giving me very, I mean, it's not even about listening to my body. Choice hi nahi hai.
Is it an age
like
thing?
Body
that
has
happens?
it's an age thing that happens in my case. Like,
are you calling us old?
She's calling me. She's looking directly at me. She's looking directly at me.
She's trying to
like an age. Yes, it is. It is an age thing. All right. It's an age thing.
I mean,
old.
on
it's not about
this
listening to
note,
my body. My body breaks down the door and
They'll be like,
screams in my
"Stop."
face. So that like not listening is
Fair,
not an
fair,
option.
fair. So nobody's telling you stop and listen to your body. You're like, bhai, pata hai.
My body is texting me every 3 seconds. There's no option.
But you know, like research shows that you're an engineering college dropout, quintessential South Bombay privileged guy who recognizes his privilege, has trouble solving basic mathematical algebraic equations, is single and lonely at 40.
What? 1 second. Who said lonely? What the hell? Hey.
First she's called you old, then she's called you lonely.
Who loves to overshare on social media. And you occasionally write things and also sometimes perform, and probably are one of the most accomplished comedians in this country.
I'm still stuck on lonely.
And you love to cry. And you love to cry.
And I love to cry.
Yeah.
This is, I have to say, a very mixed review so far.
Is this your dating app profile? Because you need to change it.
No, I feel like it's nowhere near this detailed. My dating app profile.
I love to cry.
I love to cry.
So I want to know, how does it feel to be this role model, you know?
I am not a role model. I have not lived my life as it is supposed to be in any way instructive or instructional, and that is not a sort of pressure I take on myself in terms of, I just feel like I go out there and I don't know, live the life that I want, do things. And I guess this thing is, can I get home at night and sleep with a clear head and a clear conscience, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or what anybody just here. And it's not like coming.
I thought मैं funny bolungi, he'll say something funny. He's taken personal offense. Can you see that?
Lonely बोल दिया यार.
Can you see that offense that you've taken, and you were sitting like this all this while having this conversation?
Yeah, I'm like lonely. What the heck?
Let me clarify. It's not lonely.
No, I'm very wary of this role model shit, right? Because I feel like this is a power that people give to everybody on Instagram these days. Yeah, right? Because एक तो ये इंस्टाग्राम और लिंक्डइन की वजह से आधे लोगों को थॉट लीडर बनना है और आधे लोगों को मतलब थॉट लीडरशिप का पावर देना है किसी को, ठीक है? मेरे को नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है? मैं 2 बिल्लियों के साथ रहता हूँ, मैं कभी कभी 11 बजे उठता हूँ, मैं गाली देता हूँ, मेरी सोच हमेशा 100% प्योर नहीं होती, मैं गलतियाँ करता, I'm not living to be a role model. And the reason I'm saying that, as long as I can sleep at night, is because, look, we all have careers on the internet, all right? Which means we have lived in comment sections, all right? Which means you've heard people making the most absurd assumptions and presumptions, and in some cases just kuch bhi bol rahe. ठीक है? So as a result of that, I'm like, if I had to sit and judge who I am on the basis of what these different comments think I am, I'm not the person that this troll thinks I am, but I'm also not the person that this 14-year-old superfan thinks I am. You know, I'm not. I think the truth is definitely somewhere closer in the middle. Always grateful. Always grateful. But I'm just saying that I feel like, and the reason I'm saying that's why you go home and you go to sleep and you feel okay is, people's opinions of you will keep changing in this field, especially as long as you have your North Star and your own sort of values, for want of a better word. That's all that matters.
आपको book लिखनी चाहिए.
हाँ, पर मतलब
Finding your Ikigai part 35.
Oh my God, yes. Ikigai sparks joy. Ikigai. Oh my God.
Such an Ikigai.
Ikigai. Next podcast, pe lonely Ikigai.
What about you? Are you single?
Yes. I always say this, like you can ask me whenever, it's like such a Priyanka Chopra thing because she said this on Coffee with Karan, but until I know that this is a person I'm going to marry and probably marry.
There's a rock on your finger.
There's a rock on my finger, exactly. My parents have always told me this one thing, which I don't know is such a good thing to say. They always said you have to kiss many frogs before you find your prince.
That's right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you could still end up with a frog. That's the
the thing.
That's
you
the
never
crazy
know.
That's
thing.
the craziest thing.
Right?
Yeah. So till the frogs are just frogging and the prince is not there, I'm pretty much.
There could be multiple princes.
That could also be happen. You could be with a prince who turns back into a frog, you know.
It could be anything. There is no, it's not linear at all. And unfortunately, you know,
Journey.
it's a.
I just want to take a second to speak out on behalf of like frogs who, as far as I can tell, as an amphibious species, have done nothing to hurt us.
And they're very important for our
and
ecosystem.
exactly. And so I don't know
Extremely
why we
important.
decided that they were going to be our sort of analogy.
Disney, bro.
For, in fact, I would feel
It's
like
Disney.
if you look at the history of humanity, princes and royal families have caused more issues
Then frogs have.
than frogs have. So, if anything, I would say to the people out there, go out there and kiss princes until you find a frog, a valuable member of the community who also knows how to swim. So, you were wondering why I'm single. Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know. And
Now
now
I
so
know.
does the entire internet.
My mom's favorite animal is actually a frog.
As it should be.
Yeah.
What?
My mom's favorite animal is a frog, which I find so absurd, but she loves frogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But how is it any more or less absurd than any other animal?
Like, a mini frog is a tadpole. Have you seen tadpoles? They look like huge sperms.
Yeah, and they're so jumpy.
Which
Like,
then brings us back to now what's wrong with sperm, guys? What the hell? I just feel like there's a lot of, again, frogs just catching bad propaganda for no reason.
It's just ingrained perceptions. That's it. That
That's
tadpoles
exactly
are
what I
funny
mean.
looking, and I don't know.
so what's your viewpoint on dating apps? Are you currently on any dating app, or have you been?
So my experience with dating apps is I'm not a dating app person at all because I like meeting people, even if it's rare and people say exactly like you said, you know, proximity. You meet more people, you converse so much. But I hate my phone. As a person, I would love to go back to an era where smartphones didn't exist.
Somebody who's constantly vlogging.
Exactly.
everything,
For
that's,
someone who's constantly on a phone, I hate my phone. I really wish a smartphone didn't exist in this day and age. So, since my life is on my phone, I didn't want my love life also to be on the phone. And I'm very averse to meeting people just through texting and everything. So, I really like physicality, like being there and meeting people, like a meet cute. I want a nice meet cute. I don't want my kid to be like, where did you meet? I'm like, Hinge. Like, that is just not my thing. And
Just
I'm
invent a story.
Yeah,
Just invent
and
a
it's
story.
completely
As long
fine
as-
for people who do that. That's your cup of tea and this is my cup of coffee. Like, they're completely different. Having said that, I have been on dating.
Wow. After that gigantic disclaimer comes, look, we've all been on dating apps, I think.
We started with how she hates her phone, but she's always on her phone for work.
Oh, and
Then
to
she
which
said, "I
dating
joined
apps?
dating apps
But
are
I've been
no.
there.
I'm a great storyteller.
But you're a great storyteller, and
Thank you.
also, see, if you're going to hate something, it is more respectable to hate it after
After you
trying
tried it, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that's
if
true.
you've never been on a dating app and you just hate
Exactly.
dating apps, that's just prejudice.
Exactly. Thank you.
I
This is
agree, and
experience.
But let me tell you the story. So
Okay.
I was on, I broke up. This is in college. I had a breakup. I was abroad, and abroad everyone's like, you need to live your life, so you go on the dating app. I went on a dating app for one day. I went on one date and then I deleted that app because that date was the worst date of my life.
Tell us more
Tell
about
us
it.
more, yeah.
We
It's
didn't
too
talk.
abstract.
Gossip.
Yeah,
didn't talk.
we didn't talk.
We
So it was a
love
Greek
gossip.
guy, Achilles, whatever his name
Damn.
was.
Damn.
Okay, and we were at the pub. I'm calling it a pub because it was UK, so it was a pub. And he's there
one.
and there, and I've entered, and the entire night we haven't spoken, guys, not a word. It was like staring at a wall, and I was trying to make conversation again because I talk for a living, so I feel like I can talk.
Yeah.
His answers were monosyllable, like half a syllable, not even monosyllables, not even a yes, it'll be a yeah.
So what you're saying is making conversation was his Achilles heel.
Yes! That's cool. I'm
That's a
so
good
proud of it. Like,
one.
good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Happy to run around the room high-fiving everybody for that.
Just
one,
relax
okay?
and sit.
That was
Just
a
sit down.
good
Yeah,
one.
Just
Yeah. So anyway, so we didn't talk, and then he dropped me home because I was like, fuck this shit, this is the most boring date. And then he leaned in for a kiss. I was like, bhai, kya kar rahe hai?
Leaned in for a kiss on the first.
First date, I was like, no, you haven't asked me for food. We just had one beer each. You haven't gone beyond your Greek, this is your name, and you're doing finance. That's all I know about you. So I was like, okay, goodbye.
I did try to break that block, and I met a few people here and there. It didn't work out with either of them. But and hence I'm still single. But yeah, I feel like I'm over that block now, and I feel like whatever medium that you meet somebody with, as long as it's working out, it's all good, right? Like so why keep that preconceived notion that, oh, I don't want to meet somebody through dating app? For God's sake, even if you meet somebody through your mom, dad, you're meeting somebody as long as you like them, there's a good conversation, and it's giving you happiness or whatever, it's leading to something,
Sahiba.
Right?
Yeah, thanks.
Like she's
Maybe I should
shouting
get
at
on the
you.
app again.
She's shouting at you.
She's like looking at me and
Oh
saying,
my
"Maybe
God.
we should give it a shot."
Did I just mother?
Yeah,
You
you
mothered
mothered the
me.
shit out of her.
About a dating app. What about you, Rohan? Have you been on
Yeah,
an
well,
app?
So
I
I
was
have been
gonna
on
come
dating
to
apps.
that.
I
Yeah.
have been on apps, but I found so it was okay for a bit. But then what I found started happening with me is I started noticing that, all these things are just gamified, right?
Yeah.
The right swipe is
Extremely.
dopamine hit.
Yeah.
The left swipe, the match is a dopamine hit.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, you sound like Tanmay. He said the same thing to
But
me.
it is like that.
Yeah,
It is like that.
And,
It's like it
cheap
becomes like a
dopamine at
game.
that,
Yeah.
Right? It becomes like a game.
It
And then
is.
I'm like, am I doing this to meet somebody?
Yeah.
Or do I just now like the game of the app?
It
Right?
is the
Which is
game
the
of
first
the
thing. It's
app,
the game
which
of the
you
app.
get
It is
addictive.
addictive.
Very
And
addictive.
Like
Yeah.
I've seen people
Also-
just be in flights and be like,
yeah,
before
I've
taking
seen that.
off.
I've seen people at airports just like
Yeah,
swiping like that.
These
right?
men or women are not wanting to talk to anybody, by the
No,
way.
you're
They don't
just
want to meet
addicted to the
anybody.
swiping. It's
They
gaming.
Yeah, it's just like
It's a game.
It's
Candy
yeah.
Crush.
It is like that. And then
Yes.
every match is this thing.
What is the most underrated thing about being single?
Underrated?
Yeah.
That you focus on yourself only.
And you're not sort of answering to anybody else's sort of schedule, this thing, whatever. And you really get to work on your shit.
And there's no dependency. You are your person, which is great.
And you have to learn to do everything.
Unless, you find the right person who lets you be all of that while being in a relationship.
100%.
That's the sweet spot.
How old are you, Sahiba?
I'm younger than the two of you.
I know. I stalked you.
Yeah. Hey, how old are you? Young? Hey, what the hell, like an old person.
Yeah.
I think you're going to turn 30 this year.
Yeah.
you're
This is the
29.
year.
The big 3-0. Nice.
I feel like Rachel from that.
I too remember those days.
What were you doing when you were turning 30? Like,
Oh yeah, I was in Bangkok partying when I was turning 30.
Yeah.
30 would have been, exactly 10 years ago. Stand-up was happening. The AIB was happening.
And the AIB was at the
AIB
peak
was
that
happening.
time.
Yeah,
So
AIB was happening at that
2014.
point. My liver still worked. So I'd do
Good
things
days,
like
good days.
good days. So yeah, my 30th birthday, I was in Bangkok chilling. I remember I was very drunk and eating scorpion.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No, my 30 has become my 40. I am 40.
Yeah, you're giving me those vibes, you know, like you wake up in the morning and you journal and you go to the gym and
I don't
you
journal, I
give-
go to the gym.
you give me that vibe of, you know, that person.
I
who's
don't drink.
extremely-
Like people need to force me to drink.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't party. But sometimes recently
You don't
I
drink by
message-
choice,
I
or
just I like the feeling of getting drunk, of course. Who wouldn't? Like that's amazing. No inhibitions. I don't enjoy that I have to drink so much for it. And like the entire process of drinking, I think is very hectic. Like we were just speaking about it. Shots is great. Give me 2 shots, 3 shots, and we are done. We are
Yeah, that's
sorted.
it.
That's
Pack
good.
it all into one neat package.
Yeah, just get me the like dopamine, right? Just get me the feeling.
Yeah.
I just need
Yeah.
that feeling. I don't want to go through the process.
Jägermeister or go
क्या हो
home.
गया इस generation को सब कुछ ऐसे
As
चाहिए,
a instant
मतलब-
gratification.
Okay, no, but coming back to, you know, what you were saying about you dabbling with dating apps and the idea of intimacy, right? Now, intimacy could be, you know, it's a very multi-dimensional.
Here comes the serious question.
And I want to know, and you know, question, and I think I want to discuss this with both of you all for that matter, but intimacy in platonic relationships is, I feel like, very ignored as we start growing up a lot more, right? Like, so the adult friendships that we're particularly talking about, or what do you guys think about adult friendships? Is it hard to navigate? And what value does that hold in your lives?
Project, honestly. Like as I've gotten older, it's literally become like amongst like my friends and people, etc. The one thing that I've realized is that one of the most problematic things is that we have such a heavy focus on the idea of this romantic relationship to the exclusion of all other forms of intimacy for multiple reasons. One is that's a lot of pressure to put on one person, right? Where you have to be the sole source of all my sort of intimacy, right? Emotional, physical, when I'm having a bad day, whether it's a thing you have an understanding of or not, you're everything, right? That's a lot of pressure to put on one person. That's a lot of pressure to sort of have also as one person. B, the other thing is different people provide different kinds of intimacy, right? Different people give us different stimulus in our life, right? Like today, say for example, the three of us become friends. There are certain conversations which will be more illuminating with you versus certain subjects where, you know, it'll be more illuminating with you. There might be certain places where your EQ is higher, certain places where your EQ is higher. And I feel like as I've gotten older, one of the things that I have recognized, especially in people older than me, and now, you know, see our parents' generation, grandparents' generation, one of the worrying things I notice is that, and I've been reading a lot about this, and there's apparently studies, etc., that support the fact that older people becoming shut in and not having adult friendships and social dynamics and relationships outside is actually a huge contributor to everything from dementia to health to decline to susceptibility to conspiracy theories and bad information and
Because they
phishing
keep
and
everything in. They don't
everything
believe in,
is in.
Yeah.
Correct, and even if they're, you know, going out for those little walks that they do, you know, you see 60.
You know, anything.
But those are also sometimes not real friendships. So they're not
No, but
allowing
just
themselves
something.
to share or be vulnerable.
Because
100%.
they believe that they don't need to share. Whereas our generation at least acknowledges
it's stigmatized,
the
right?
fact,
Like, you know,
correct.
sharing, and it's
100%.
not also even gender specific. I feel this
You know,
particular
for dirty
thing
laundry, don't air it out and stuff. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that they
100%.
feel.
Yeah.
That form of loneliness, like, is not a thing we talk about at all.
Yeah.
That outside of their partner, and when that partner is gone or not available,
Children are also not there. Like,
and they also have their own
And
lives,
they have their
right?
own lives.
Everybody
You
has to have
can't
their
be
own
dependent.
lives.
But I also feel like this is not only an old age thing. Like, you know, we're talking about grandparents or people who are
No, no,
older.
I'm saying
I
all
feel like
generations.
even at
All
my
generations,
age or
yeah.
your age, or, you
100%.
know, all of us put together, that play should never stop.
Never.
You know, having people or a safe circle around you you can confide into, you know, people who you are your 3 a.m. people beyond your romantic partner or, you know, your first 2-3 family, and not, you know, I feel like I never call my mom and dad at 3 a.m. in the morning to have a
but
conversation.
you know, that's what I agree with him, because you find different forms of intimacy with different people.
Yeah.
And it's very oblivious of you to feel that all kind of intimacies can be found or curated or given to you by one person.
That's
If it
unfair
is,
to them.
It's great,
you know.
but it's also unfair to them to put them on that pedestal, because there's intelligence intimacy which you have through conversation, which could be through anyone. Then there's physical, obviously. Then there's all of them. And especially in your adult life, when you have exposure and reach and accessibility to so many different types of people, if you find someone who's giving you that, I think it's also on you to foster that relationship, because what happens is lack of time, busy lifestyle, everything,
100%.
you kind of lose that.
One piece of advice to give to somebody: if you have the time and the bandwidth
Yeah.
to just indulge a hobby that you love as adults,
Yeah.
and to just meet somebody over that.
With that,
Because the
yeah.
other thing that happens as adults is very rare to, like, since you mentioned you meet people at work, etc. It's very rare to meet people in a non-transactional environment.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Right? We're always meeting somebody, they're a colleague or they're a client or they're a this or
Yeah,
that. But when you meet over a hobby,
There
Like
is
your tennis thing
there is a
makes sense.
vested
Tennis.
interest to, you know.
Common interest, and then you meet, and that gets fostered, and
Yeah.
it's
like
more
I joined a
sustainable.
music class and I just ended up meeting like,
Gaa ke suna?
huh?
Gaa ke suna?
Gaa ke suna?
Hey, who said I sing? I said music.
What
I play
kind of
drums.
music? Okay, baja
Yeah,
ke
I play
suna.
drums. And other Delhi pickup lines.
She went like बजा के
के
सुना
सुना।
कहाँ दिख रहे
Like, हाँ,
drums
लेके आओ,
कहाँ यार
Everything
लेके आओ।
can be a tabla.
Sir के लिए
if you're
drums
not
लाओ।
into it.
anything at tabla if you're drunk enough.
Badminton became that shared interest, and I went and started playing badminton every day. And it wasn't much about badminton anymore than meeting these group of
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
meeting them again. And badminton is now over 2 years ago, but the people have stayed.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my closest friends is a friend who I met in belly dancing class some 10 years ago. And
Yeah.
I remember I'd only gone for like 3 classes, okay? Like, so for me, it was just like, oh, I'd been doing Kathak and Bharatnatyam for a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I recently moved to Gurgaon and I'm like, oh, I want to try something new.
Hmm.
I was doing music for a really long time and music sort of then became
Chalo gaa ke suna.
Instagram पे जाके देख लो बहुत सारा कुछ है
साहिबा यार गाना सुन के ही रहेगी इतनी भी हाल में देखो ये YouTube पे जा रहा है कॉपीराइट स्ट्राइक हो जाएगा खाली फोकट
Original गा लो.
कभी और
कभी और, yeah.
yeah. But
आप गाओ ना
मैं कंठल
Do you
को
मैं बता रही थी हाँ I was saying that belly dancing and one of my closest friends like you know I was the bridesmaid at her wedding.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
you know, and like she became like my tightest friend and she learned properly and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I could move a little bit, but I think I used to then go for her sometimes as a plus one and I stopped paying for the class.
You were just her plus one.
I was just a plus one. And yeah, like today she's one of my closest friends. So yeah, it's time for you to sing.
Oh, I'm
I'm
saying
still
now.
stuck
Oh,
on
wow,
that.
looks
yeah.
like it.
Oh my god.
Looks like.
Yeah.
I think what had happened is she's gotten all the content that she wants.
Yeah,
Now
I'm
she
just
wants
having
all the,
she's
like,
just
trailer
like-
moment. Because I saw all those like coffee hampers and all of
Oh my god, why don't you play a game with us and reward us? And if I feel like singing, I will, because my
Just
throat's
sing.
really gone.
I'm instructing you to sing now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you want the hamper
My
or not?
comp is happening.
Tell you
Yo.
What if I sing and you have to try and lip sync to the best
Oh
of
my
your
god, yes,
ability?
please, thank you.
Right?
Okay.
Because song with lyrics I know. You Summer
And I
69.
know. Yeah,
and
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
fine.
No
I
good.
can join too.
You
What,
can-
what should I do?
We both have to lip sync.
you have
Okay,
to-
cool. Then
I
I'll just
remember
watch
the
you
lyric.
both and clap.
I got my first real.
I got my first real 6-string. Bought it at the 5 and dime. Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of 69. Me and some guys from school had a band.
See, आ गया drums अब,
real hard. Joey quit and Joey got married. She didn't know we'd never get far.
Oh, when we look back now,
the summer seems to last forever.
and if I had a choice,
Yeah, I only wanna be there.
those were the best days of my life.
I was quite good.
हाँ self-written review में मतलब क्या अब कैमरा में compare
You
करना
were
तो
singing.
मैं बताऊंगी ना।
Beautiful harmony was coming this way.
मतलब
I was just trying to bring some real music to the.
Yeah.
Pepsi Studio.
P Studio. P Studio.
Fanta Studio.
Jate jate, you know, I
Jate
wanted
jate.
to talk a little bit about AIB because how
Okay.
can we not?
How can we not?
And,
I'm a fan.
Yes, thank you so much. That's very kind.
you know, I don't really have a particular question, but I feel like since it's the first time I'm meeting you, and I used to watch a lot of your videos, and then I remember one night I was in Birmingham, and we all were sitting. I was sitting with a couple of friends. We were drinking, and then we watched the AIB roast, and then we saw, you know, what followed post that. And I remember AIB roast was like the highlight of my trip to Birmingham. And you know, so there's a lot of like memory, there's a lot of nostalgia, there's a lot of happiness that particular 1 hour gave to all of us, sober or drunk, How do you feel? Like, is AIB going to come back? Like, there is this little fan inside me who wishes or hopes for it to come back. Do you think that's something that's going to happen?
I don't know.
Or you completely moved on?
No, I think all of us are like doing fun things in our life right now.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things I can say never right now, but who knows what will happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. We've all seen Rock On, right?
Good analogy.
That's a good analogy.
But I think overall in terms of how I feel is just always happy. It's right. Like what makes me happy is when you say things like that's always like the nicest feeling is when somebody sort of takes me aside and says something to the effect of, my friends and I, one night, we just got really hammered and we watched the roast or we watched these videos or we watched this because it genuinely, and I'm not just saying this and like trying to be like fake humble or whatever.
But I wanted to, throw some light on Sahiba because I've done a little bit of research on, everything that you're doing currently. And I'm extremely interested to know what is that one advice you'd like to give to any person who wants to have a portfolio conglomerate of things and the kind of cocktail career that you have.
What I've noticed is like it's a thing in India where people, when you're studying something and you have another interest, parents or teachers will be like, no, you're confused, distracting, focus. And to them, I'd say like it's not that they're confused, they're multi-talented and it's okay to have different passions and everything. So
and also, I feel like passions keep changing.
Yeah, they keep evolving. So it's not important to shut the door. So please tell people who call you confused or not focused or distracted that you're multi-talented. And the fact that you're not wasting time because, don't do music, don't do dance, don't play tennis, etc. Focus on what you're doing. It's not like you're getting distracted. You're investing in yourself. This is all an investment and it's going to be better for you. And the one advice which you also said when I was talking about dating apps is something that I live my life with. It's, if you never try, you'll never know. And you always have to give it a shot. If it works out, great.
And Jate I also wanted to ask you, beyond all of these tags and identities that you carry and, in all your introductions, there are like one thing keeps adding after the other, I think there are 10 taglines and identity tags I can give to you and like that happens. How would you describe yourself beyond all of these tags? Who is Sahiba?
Beyond all of these, I feel she is... she's also figuring out who she is, but she's a very happy-go-lucky, family and food-loving person.
All good words.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good words,
Thanks. Yeah.
I would never call myself happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, I
wow,
think I'm
that's
very
good if you
happy-go-lucky.
believe that about yourself.
Yeah. I like to find the positives in things.
Yeah, find and believe.
Yeah.
Awareness and execution. Love it.
Yeah.
But okay, on this note, we're going to say bye-bye. This was so much fun doing it with you guys. I think I have a lot to chew upon. There was so much that I'm taking back. Talking to a 40-year-old, not very lonely person.
Promise? Camera ke liye nahi
I've learned time management, from both of you all, clearly.
That feels like something you'd learn from Sahiba, not from me. Sorry.
Okay, but you were on time today, so that's my first interaction with you.
Because I kept on calling him, are you out yet? Are you out yet? Have you taken your bag?
No, but also a little bit of that, nostalgia of AIB. So I'm glad I could live this moment with you here. And of course,
there was a moment of Delhi Bombay also.
There was a for sure. And you were trying to be diplomatic about it. Like, we were all pitted against each other, and
she's the one who straddles both worlds.
On her shoulders.
Yes.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Hi guys, if you like this episode, I say do not keep it as a secret. Like it, share it with everyone far and wide, and make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on such cool conversations. Okay, bye.